Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about setting up your wallet. There are specifically two wallets that I actually use myself. They're pretty common, and they're common because they work really well and they're pretty secure. Now, as Bitcoin has become more popular and continue to rise up in value, obviously there's been more people that want to take advantage of that, and there's some dishonest people out there. Now, for those of us that are honest, there's a lot more of us than there are dishonest, and that's always going to be the case. However, you need to protect yourself from those dishonest people. So when you're going to set up a wallet, first of all, one thing that you're going to want to download, which will be on your phone, okay, whether you have an iPhone or an Android, it doesn't matter. You want the Google Authenticator, okay? It's available for Android and Apple. Google Authenticator, download this, look for it. Just type in Google Authenticator in your App Store or your Google Play Store and install it on your phone. What that will do is every single time you log into your wallet, it will require a verification code from Google Authenticator. So when you set up, for example, a blockchain wallet, the way to set it up is you're simply going to click Get a Free Wallet, and it's going to guide you through the process of signing up. Things to take note of. When you are signing up in any wallet, an email is required. Make sure that the email address you are using has a very secure password. So the password on your email, don't use something generic like Harley Davidson 12. If you're going to do something, have it be like Harley uppercase H, exclamation point, backwards parentheses, caret, Davidson uppercase D, lowercase a, uppercase V, and the rest of it. Have it be very secure, something that somebody would not likely be able to get into. Because what happens is, since it's very hard for people to actually get into your wallet because it's encrypted, if it's associated with an email, it's much easier for them to just track down the email and then click reset password on the email and hack your email in order to use your email to get back into your wallet. Because your wallet, if you ever forget the password, they'll send a reset password to your email. So if they can gain access to your email, they can gain access to your wallet. So have a secure password on your email address. And then when you sign up, simply type in the email, type in the password that you would like to use for your actual wallet, which once again uses secure password. Like I have a password that's like 32 digits long and I actually have it memorized. I'm not saying you have to be that wild with it, but just do something secure. And then you want to set up your blockchain. Once it prompts you through here, I'm not going to create a wallet right here because I already have one. I don't need a duplicate. But once you have your blockchain wallet set up, you will go into your settings, and I will log in here so I can at least show you that. But you'll go into your settings, and you can see I actually have it set up where every single time it senses that I'm on a new IP address, I need to confirm that, okay? But once you go into your settings, it's going to allow you to turn on a setting that says 2FA. 2FA stands for two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication means that every single time you come into your blockchain wallet or your Coinbase wallet, whatever you're using, you have to type in a code. And that code is going to be populated through your Google Authenticator app on your phone. So you go into your Google Authenticator app on your phone, you'll see the code, and it'll be a 6-digit code. You'll type that in, and then it'll allow you to gain access to your own wallet. That way, you have a secure wallet password. Your wallet is backed by your email account, which also has two-factor authentication and a secure password, and it requires two-factor authentication to get into your actual Bitcoin wallet. So I'll say that again. When you set up a Bitcoin wallet, you want to download the Google Authenticator app. Once you download the Google Authenticator app and you create your wallet with an email and a secure wallet password, you'll go into the settings of your wallet. When you're in your settings of the wallet, you'll look for a 2FA setting, which means you are asking the blockchain wallet or the Coinbase wallet, whatever you have, to allow you to set up two-factor authentication. That wallet is going to populate a QR code. It'll populate a QR code, and you'll be able to open up your Google Authenticator and scan in that QR code. You've now synced your blockchain QR code or your Coinbase QR code, whatever wallet you're using, with your Google Authenticator. So that way it recognizes your two-factor authentication that it needs to generate for you in the Authenticator app. So I'm just going to go into my email and click Authorize Login. And like I said, guys, you will want to you'll want to turn in 2FA on your email as well. Some people don't like to do that because it's an extra step to just get in an email if you want to check an email or something. If that bothers you, then create an entire new email account strictly for your Bitcoin wallets, so that way the only sort of notifications you're going to get in that email are for your Bitcoin wallets. And now you can see that I'm in here. I probably don't have a whole bunch of Bitcoin in here because I don't keep much Bitcoin in my wallets. I do a lot of day trading with them and move them around quite a bit. But you can see in here, here is my blockchain wallet, all right? And then I'll show you Coinbase next. So hopefully that makes sense, guys, as far as setting up the wallet. You're literally going to go to blockchain.info, okay? It's blockchain.info, and you will set up your wallet. So you saw when I was logged out, it said create your free wallet on the right. You'll just do that. You'll enter in email and then a password for the wallet you want. Once you do that, download Google Authenticator, and then you'll go into your settings right in here, okay? And then you'll go into the settings, you'll turn on two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication is what you're going to use, so that way every single time you access your wallet in here, it's going to require that you enter an authentication code. I also recommend that you go to your email service provider settings and turn on 2FA for that as well. All right, makes sense, guys? And there's a couple other different settings as well in here that you can use. Scan the code, click on show pairing code with your blockchain wallet, mobile app pairing code. You see, that's the setting that you're going to want to change. So show pairing code right here, it'll generate this QR right here, and that's the code that you're going to scan with your Google Authenticator app. And then once you're inside your Google Authenticator app, it'll actually show the codes. And I can actually probably show you. This is what it'll look like inside your Google Authenticator app. So you can see that they have scanned a QR code like this into their Google Authenticator app for Google, and then there was a technology or a software or a program they were using called MS. So they went into MS and they scanned in this QR code, and now their Google Authenticator recognizes MS. So you might have your blockchain wallet paired, and say you have a Coinbase wallet and another wallet, you're going to have 3 different codes in here. So when you open up your Google Authenticator, just look for the one that says blockchain or the one that says Coinbase and take that code, and you'll use the 6-digit code that it populates to log into your Coinbase or your blockchain wallet. Very simple. So there's the Google Authenticator app, and let's just go ahead and go back into our blockchain wallet. So we're just going to go to our dashboard, and I'll give you a quick overview of how the blockchain wallet works. If you want to send Bitcoin, you send it from here. If you want to request Bitcoin, you'll request it from here. What we need to do real quick, though, is how do we get Bitcoin? Well, when you want to obtain Bitcoin, there are a few different areas you can get Bitcoin from. It depends on what country you're in. For example, Coinbase services the United States, Canada, and the UK, being England, Ireland, and Scotland. Now, there are other places such as localbitcoins.com. If you are not in the UK, Canada, or the United States, you could go to a site like localbitcoins.com. There is also a site called CoinMama as well, and along with this video right below, we will provide a document and some text that shows different places you can get Bitcoin from wherever you're at in the world, okay? So what I'll do is I'll go into Coinbase, and I'll show you in Coinbase where to get Bitcoin, and then we'll finish our overview of both of these wallets. So Coinbase, I'm going to sign in, and you will see it requires an email and a password for me to type in here. So I will type in my email. That is with this one, gmail.com, and password. And then it's going to tell me that I need my Google Authenticator. I already know it, so I'm going to open up my Authenticator on my phone, and it says Coinbase 396474. 396474. 396474. Verify. So now we're inside Coinbase, which once again, this is for the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. If you do not currently reside in the United States, Canada, or the United Kingdom, it's okay. Below this video, we have included other places that you can obtain Bitcoin. Now, when you're obtaining Bitcoin, some places simply are a platform where people that hold Bitcoin are selling it for a slight profit. And in that case, they're actually going to send that Bitcoin to a wallet address that you provide. So you need another wallet set up. But in other instances, there are places other than Coinbase where it not only serves as a place to buy Bitcoin, but it's also a wallet. So we've included that information below this video. Coinbase is just a really good place to just show you the basics, and everything really works the same amongst all wallets. They all have the same type of settings. They all have different user interfaces, but it's the same type of stuff. So for learning purposes, we're going to be inside Coinbase here. I'm on the dashboard. You can see it's currently $17,593. Please let me know when you find out about a government stock, bond, mutual fund, IRA, or anything like that that turns $10,462 in profit in 30 days. I'm not aware of any. They don't exist. So if you're not on the Bitcoin train, hop on it now or forever hold your peace, because it's going to continue going upwards in what we call a bull market. An upward trending market is what we refer to as a bull market, all right? So we're going to go into settings real quick. It's very simple. Right when I go into settings, you're going to see the area where you can click to do two-factor authentication. It's right here. You just click two-factor authentication and then boom, you are in there. Very simple to do, not hard. Let's go into our buy and sell now. So we've looked at the dashboard, we've looked into settings where you know how to do two-factor authentication. Now let's go into buy sell. Coinbase allows you to buy and sell a couple different things. You can buy and sell Bitcoin, you can buy and sell Ethereum, you can buy and sell Litecoin. Ethereum and Litecoin, for long-term investment purposes, it's good to buy these. These are very good to buy. Now, there are swings, of course, where it goes up in value and then down in value and up in value. But we are moving in an upward trend with Ethereum and Litecoin in the long term. These are coins that are going to be doing and are already starting to do what Bitcoin has already done. Gone from something worth 8 cents to now something that earlier today hit over $19,000 actually. So it's going to continue going in that trend. You can actually tack into Ethereum and Litecoin. Ethereum is ETH, Litecoin is LTC. Now you can see in here I've got different payment methods for buying coin. So I currently have 85 cents in my USD wallet, and then I have a couple bank accounts paired. If you want to buy Bitcoin instantaneously, a debit or credit card works best. Bank accounts will take a few days before the funds are available in your Coinbase. So I suggest that you add a payment method by doing a credit or debit card. All right, it's going to do a small amount, but it's going to be instantaneous. If you do a bank account, you can buy in large quantities. It just takes 4 to 5 days. So if you want to start out with something small, do a credit or debit card. It'll be available like that. If you're like, hey, I want to buy $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $8,000, $20,000 in Bitcoin, you're going to want to use a bank account. You can also do wire transfers, but usually I like to do a credit or debit card to just get in the market and have it instantaneously. And then I just turn profits of that, $200, $300, $500 investment, and I just exponentially grow it. Now, obviously, the more you invest, the more you can make. So it's up to you what you want to do. I'm just saying if you want it instant, it's small amounts, but you'll use a debit or credit card, it'll be instant. Bigger amounts, do a bank account. So if you do credit or debit card, it'll just ask you the card, name, the number, all that stuff, and add a card. I'm not going to add my card details in there for obvious reasons, but that's what you would do. Once you do that, you simply enter the amount. Now, when you're usually first starting out with a debit or credit card on Coinbase, it's like anything. They want to see some history built up. So they're only going to let you purchase 100 to 200 US dollars worth of Bitcoin to start off with. If they limit you to 100 or $200, what you actually can do is you can click increase limits. And once you have a debit card paired, what it's going to do is ask you to verify a deposit and a withdrawal that it puts in your bank account. So you'll pair a debit or credit card, you'll click increase limits, and then what Coinbase is going to do is put a transaction somewhere between $1 and $2 into your account and then take it back out. It will simply ask you what the amounts of the two transactions are. So you'll click increase limits, you'll go through that, then you'll log over into your bank account and you'll look and see that it deposited $1.31 and it took out $1.27. It'll ask you to put those two amounts in to verify it. They're literally just verifying that this card you're using, this bank account, is actually yours. You have access to all that information. And once you've entered those amounts, it'll allow you to immediately buy 300 to 500 USD of Bitcoin at that time. And as you start doing more business with Coinbase, sending in Bitcoin, taking some out, buying some, selling some, after a week or so, you'll be able to increase the limits again. You can see that I'm able to buy about $15,000 per week because of history that I've built up with Coinbase, all right? And then on the sell side of it, it also does the same thing. If I want to sell, you can also see that I have $15,000 remaining. I could increase my limits. Well, for obvious purposes, I'm not doing a whole lot of selling of Bitcoin, but I can go into my dashboard and show you that that can actually be done. And we'll talk about buying and selling here in a second, but I'll show you history here. So you can see on the 5th of December here, I've had 1,692 leave, 1,182 leave, 1,182 deposit, 1,182 leave, all that different stuff. And I have sold some Bitcoin. You can actually buy and sell Bitcoin. So a lot of times what I'll do, I'll make Bitcoin on the exchanges, diversifying in alternative currencies. I'll make a profit, and the profit gets paid back to me in Bitcoin, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And I actually send the Bitcoin that I've made back over into Coinbase, and once in a while I'll sell it. Now when you sell Bitcoin inside Coinbase, the Bitcoin, what happens with it is it sells it back into the market, and it pays you the equivalent amount back in your local currency. So if it's British pounds, if it's the Canadian dollar, if it's the US dollar, it will actually pay you that amount in Bitcoin back in your local currency. Now you have what we call fiat currency. You have government issued, government regulated cash. Okay, now what we can do with that is simply pair a bank account and send that right over to our bank. So if you want to buy or sell Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin for cash and pair your bank account, send it right over your bank account, you can do that. It's very liquid. It works very well. So that's how to set up your wallets with two-factor authentication. That is how to get into the Bitcoin market, either with pairing a debit or credit card or using a bank account. That is how to buy. That is how to sell Bitcoin. And we'll go over real quick back into the blockchain wallet and give you a little bit of an overview of the blockchain wallet again. One other thing in your settings that you can do is you can enable it to notify you if it senses a new IP address logging in, which is great because obviously if you're in the same place and it senses that somebody else is trying to log into your account, it won't let them, and you'll actually get an email notification saying, is this you? Was this you? Approve or decline, and you can do it. And that's what blockchain just did for me. Blockchain, very similar. Send here, request here. Very simple. Okay guys, so I'm actually going to act as if I'm going to send and receive some Bitcoin from one of my wallets to another wallet. So I'll walk you through that and what that would look like. Every wallet has a QR code for the address it can populate, which you can actually use if you have the ability to scan somebody else's address. Like for example, if you go buy something at Home Depot and you're checking out, Home Depot allows you to pay with Bitcoin. Many merchants now do, many stores now do. So they will actually populate a QR code, and that QR code already has the amount that you owe them for what you're trying to buy at Home Depot, and it populates that QR code, which has their wallet address encoded into it. So you take out your phone, and guys, all of these wallets, they have apps. So you can have the Coinbase app on your phone. Go get it. So that way you can manage all your Bitcoin right from your phone when you're out. Blockchain has the same thing. Go get the app. And when you're out and you've got, 500 worth of Bitcoin on your Coinbase account, $500 worth, and your Home Depot purchase is $231, Home Depot is going to say, okay, it's 0.000376 Bitcoin or whatever it is, and that QR code is going to populate. You literally hover your phone over it when you open up the Coinbase app, and boom, it sends it right there with the QR code. Now, if you don't have the QR code or you're not using that, you can simply use the wallet address. If you're using a wallet address, so say I wanted to send these $2 of Bitcoin into my Coinbase wallet, I would go over to Coinbase, and I'll get this out. I will go to receive, and you will see that it says only send Bitcoin to this address. Another common mistake, guys. Don't send Ethereum to a Bitcoin address. Don't send Litecoin to a Bitcoin address. Don't send Bitcoin to a Litecoin address or Bitcoin to an Ethereum address. You can only send one currency to the same currency of another wallet. So you can only send Bitcoin out of one wallet into Bitcoin of another wallet. You can only send Ethereum out of one wallet into Ethereum of another wallet. You can't just expect Bitcoin to become Ethereum without having an exchange take place, okay? So only send Bitcoin to this address. Sending any other digital asset, including Bitcoin Cash or USDT, will result in a permanent loss. So show address. Here's my QR code. I could simply scan and be able to send whatever amount I want right to there, or I could copy this. A very common mistake. People will take an address and they'll skip a character. Like they'll copy this much of it, or they'll copy the beginning and not the end, or they'll put a space in it on accident. If you do that, that Bitcoin is lost forever. So what's the moral here? Get the right Bitcoin address and make sure you're copy pasting the whole thing without any additional characters or without deleting any characters. So we'll copy that. We'll go over here. I have now taken my Coinbase Bitcoin receive address and I'm going to send, or act like I'm going to send, out of here. And it's going to tell me I don't have enough Bitcoin in here. $2 isn't enough Bitcoin to be able to send, but within reason, like I could send probably $3 or $5 as opposed to, a debit card ATM machine, you'd have to do $20. If you want to send them faster, a lot of times you can pay a slightly higher fee, and guys, by this I mean the fees are minimal. If I want to send like $1,000 instead of spending $35 on a wire transfer, I might spend like $5, but I might be able to pay like $6.50 for the blockchain network to confirm the transaction faster, so it's received to the other wallet sooner without having to wait. And I will say that Bitcoin transactions usually take anywhere from as little as 20 minutes to a few hours. Sometimes they could take 48 hours or something like that. So if you don't want it to get stuck or you want to speed up the process, just change the priority and you'll pay a slightly higher fee. But if you want to get it into, say, an exchange faster, like say you see a coin that's coming down and it's going to be a good time to buy, well, it might be a good idea to fund that exchange by just swallowing it, biting the bullet, and paying the higher fee, so you have the money to enter a trade market at an optimal time rather than missing out on a possible trade that could yield you an exponential amount of Bitcoin. So you could change it to priority, but we could just do this and then say you wanted to send 0.00054 Bitcoin, whatever that is. We could do that, or say it was $100 in USD or something like that. And then you just click continue and it would send it. And then you would see that it's going to end up sending it out. In the recent activity, it would actually show. So that's how to send and receive Bitcoin. Once you have it in your Coinbase or in any wallet, you are now going to be able to fund an exchange. It's very simple. And one other thing to show you very quickly is that every single time you actually have a transaction take place, you are able to look that up. So say you are trying to check into a transaction and see the wallet address that it came from, or like why it's stuck or something like that. You're actually able to look up that transaction, and I will show you how to do that. So I can actually go into my Bitcoin transactions here, for example, and you'll be able to do this with all wallets, and you can search a transaction by the wallet address. So say, for example, I wanted to, like, say I didn't know this transaction was here, but I had the wallet address that I just sent to, and I'm looking to see what happened with it. I could paste it in here and just click enter, and it will show me all the details on this. It'll show me that $2,219 was sent November 26th to this address from my Bitcoin wallet. So that's how you can actually look up transactions. You can look them up by the wallet address that you've sent to, or if you just want something more generic, you can look at all sent, all received, all transferred, all different things like that, and it'll actually show you that. So I'm going to exit that out there, and you can just go back to all. It'll show you all that. So just transactions, Bitcoin, you can see that. It does that in all wallets. Now in the next video, we're actually going to get into our trading and talk about Satoshi value and candlestick science. This is super important. And when I started trading, I didn't actually fully understand these. And once I did, I started turning profit literally the same day. So it's very important and very crucial that you pay very close attention in the next coming videos, because we're going to be going over candlestick science, Satoshi value, and then we're going to start getting into our basic trading fundamentals and then wrapping into our advanced trading fundamentals for those guys that want to be making several Bitcoin every week or every month or every year, whatever you're doing. So we'll see you in the next video.